Welcome back! If you remember on the last episode, we were demonstrating how easy it is for anybody to create their very own custom-made Affy girl. Well, today we're gonna be painting. So, let's get started. In the last episode, we were looking through some hobby magazines for inspiration on what colors we want for our Affy girl. Now, it is time to create a color scheme based on that. It may be a little bit difficult to imagine a color layout for a custom model. So, I'm here to teach you a simple way as to how to do so.
You will need to take a photo of your Affy girl against a backdrop, preferably a plain and contrasting one. This makes it easier to remove on the computer. Now, you can start painting.
Now, before we go any further, there's something very important that we have to talk about: shading.
Basically, shading is the process of applying various tones of color to give the illusion of shadows on an object. With a contrast of shadows and highlights, you can make something seem more 3D. In practice, it is a matter of applying 2 or more contrasting shades. There are 3 primary ways to create this effect. Pre-shading, where the edges are painted with the shadows, followed by the main color. Post-shading, where the main color is painted first, followed by painting the shadows along the edges. And finally, highlighting. This is when you paint the entire area in a darker tone and then paint in the lighter colors. This is a bit more freestyle compared to the other techniques.
Now, with this, I have a general idea on how I want the shading to be. Of course, it may not be color accurate, but it works perfect as a general reference. For this model, we're gonna be airbrushing with lacquer paints. Lacquer-based paints tend to give off a more rich and vibrant color, which is perfect for Affy girls. But there is a little detail that you should consider before painting.
When painting, you should always consider the layer underneath. A dark undercoat tends to make the color above dull, and a lighter one, brighter. Since we want a more vibrant model, we should use a light undercoat, like white.
Now that we're shading our model, we have to be pretty accurate, and the best way is to practice. With water, that is.
With an airbrush, how much you pull back the trigger will determine how much paint comes out. A neat trick is to loosen the front cap. That allows you to gargle your paint. To get a feel for the airbrush, you should try to draw shapes, like boxes and circles. Are you able to draw a straight line? The key to airbrushing is to lock your arms and wrists, like a robot. And you should always maintain the same distance between the object and airbrush. Do remember to start before and after the part. You'll get it after a while, so don't sweat it.
And once you're confident enough, you're ready to start on your Affy girl. Because you're using lacquer-based paint, we have to do all the airbrushing in a well-ventilated area. You wouldn't want to faint now, would you?
When thinning down the paint, you are aiming for milk-like consistency. Generally, it's 2 parts thinner and 1 part paint. Listen to your airbrush. If it's wheezing, then it's probably too thick. To be safe, always test the flow before spraying. This time, I'll be shading using the highlighting method. As such, the darkest shade goes on first, followed by the lighter tones. Something like this.
If you want to paint 2 different colors on one piece, you will need to do some masking.
And back to painting. The good thing about lacquer paints is that they dry in about 10 to 15 minutes, so you can get a lot done in a day.
Ta-da! Now, you should always remember to assemble your model to make sure that the color is even. Besides, it's always nice to see things come together. Generally, after painting, it should look something like this. Not bad, right? You have to remember that some parts are easier to hand paint, so don't be so stressed over airbrushing everything. Well, there's still a lot of work to be done, so I'm gonna have to leave you guys here. But in the next episode, we'll be touching up on the remaining colors as well as discussing about clear coats. So please look forward to that. Till then, this has been Estelle, and I hope to see you guys next time. Happy building!